about to start all over again. And I've been talking. I don't know how that happened. Hey, y'all, once again. Because I thought I was on, but I wasn't on. I don't know how I did that. I don't have my glasses on anyway. But y'all, we did come on at 6:30 as I promised. But technical difficulties, the internet is raining. Y'all know how it does in Gentilly. But anyway, welcome back to Wine Down Wednesday with your girl Keisha. And tonight we were going to get into the second part of polyamorous relationships versus threesomes. The young lady could not make it tonight because she had an emergency to come up. So she couldn't come on, but she promises she's going to come back next week. She says she's coming. But I have a co-host here that we've been talking for maybe 45 minutes now. Literally, no, 15 minutes without the camera being on. And this is Mr. Larry Kelly's. And if you want to let that, we on live for real this time. So
I'm not introducing myself again. Sorry. I am who I am. And if you don't know me by now, then hey.
So
around the corner, that's all.
So
this is Wine Down Wednesday. She got me to open up my mouth because I wasn't gonna open up my mouth about this kind of stuff.
All right, so I got my glass of wine too because it's been a long day, and y'all do know that when you have things with the internet and social media, there are some technical difficulties. No part of mine is just that the internet is acting. So
people asking me, where can I log on and look at this? Let me see if I can take a picture and send it. Let me see. Right there. Oh, boom. All right. I got one or two fans. I don't have any fans. But anyway.
So people, Mr. Larry Kelly. As I said before, he's a person that handles your money when you buy a house. And he's gonna have to come back and educate us on the different type of mortgages that people can get in, because I'm definitely interested about purchasing another home, since I know that I can be a first-time home buyer again and didn't know that.
Yep.
Again. So
after 3 years of not being in a primary residence, you can be another first-time home buyer again. A divorce situation, you can be a first-time home buyer again. There's a lot of things that you would have to look up and find in the Fannie Mae guides, but yeah, first-time home buyer doesn't mean it's your first time buying a house. That's a misconception.
No, it just means that you're getting in more debt with bigger loans. So yeah, so I had property before this property. I did the first property with a quick sale. So and the house is in the Bywater. So can you imagine how much rent I could have been getting for that house if I would have kept it? And it was paid for. So however, but anyway, as I said, we're gonna dive into this topic about polyamorous relationships and threesomes and how one is more structured than the other one. And I just want to let people know that this is not bashing in any type of relationship. To each his own. This is strictly for entertainment and educational purposes only. So
you never know what you're gonna get into. You don't know what the Lord has in store for you. You never know.
You never know. And we were having a conversation earlier about, if threesomes or polyamorous relationships are right or wrong. And I was just, and I was talking about, how in the Bible, the kings of kings have had multiple wives. So even as a gift to slaves, they were granted another wife. And, women were always bartered in some type of way, form, or
We have
fashion.
a war going on in the Middle East over brothers right now of different mothers.
So,
That gives
so
you an understanding of what was going on.
yeah. So, these types of relationships have existed for centuries, and now has come to light, because now we have these special clubs. I don't even think I've heard this much about, or people have come out as much with polyamorous and threesomes, because during the days when people were really free, when I first became a social worker and I was working with the HIV population, you never heard anybody talk about this particular community at all. So the alphabets have grown very widely,
Mhm.
and and we put names on everything that we do now. So now it's a name for it. Poly, well, non-monogamous relationships is what I'm gonna call them. So for me, is you either in a monogamous relationship with a one partner, or you in a non-monogamous relationship with multiple people. So, and we were talking about the emotional strain that would have on a relationship if people are not emotionally intelligent, and or well have a stable and clear thought process, because you have to be a strong soldier to be in a house with another woman, and somebody I call my husband, and I'm allowing someone else to come into my household. And maybe because the only thing I'm thinking, what could that person help with other than satisfying my husband with sex? What else could she do?
I grew up hearing what one won't do, another will, and one don't like, another does. So there's plenty she can do. I mean, she can comfort him in a different way that you can. We talk about intimacy and sex. That's two different things. I mean, a
Mm-hmm.
threesome is an encounter. It's something that happens. There's no accountability for it. They just have it and go maybe. A relationship is still a relationship, and you have to have understanding. You have to have communication. You have to work at it. It just
Mm-hmm.
doesn't happen. You have to have the right people in it. They have to be able to communicate and understand each other. Now, the sex portion of it, some people, sex is just sex. Some people, they have to be intimate with that person. I guess I would call myself an intimate person. I don't like one night stands. I don't want to just throw myself out there with everyone. That's just not the way I want to do things. But some, I would call it a threesome. My relationship is what, polyamorous, whatever they call that. Is it something I could do? It would be something I would have to consider because of the reasons for it. Now, could I have sex with multiple women like that? I don't know. Never been there, done that. Could I have sex with another woman with another man? There, definitely not. I won't even date a woman that I know one of my friends used to date. That's off limits. 100%
Mm-hmm.
off limits. I don't care if he's deceased. It's off limits. It's not me. I'm not doing it.
That's old school. That's old school
It
thinking.
is. I thought that should just be
No,
morally processed.
no. Morally, no. People don't care anymore. If I want you, I like you, and I see you, I'm gonna be with you. So, so these days, I don't think so. But I mean, it's up to the person, where your morals stand. So everyone is raised differently, and I don't even think sometimes it has anything to do with your foundation. I just think different life experiences and things that you've been exposed to help to shape us more than what our foundation has, because I think as a young adult we start shaping into our own person and developing our own morals that we abide by. So we can't blame it on how a person, oh, she was raised like that, that's why she like that. You go to the house, the person's home, and the parents are quiet, subdued people, and the daughter is a person in the club party and doing whatever. So
Preacher's daughter.
if
No,
you want,
I
but
wouldn't
we
say
can't say the preacher's daughter now because you know the preachers was somebody else before they became preachers now.
yeah, anyway. That is true. And that's something
so
that's they've been
so
there, done
but I've always wondered, like, and I was asking this earlier, like, if you think that a man could be intimate with more than one woman, because from your perspective, I would like to know what does intimacy look like for a man? Because it has to be different from what it looks like for me.
I don't think it's any different. I think people sometimes are people. You got some bad women out there, just like you got bad men. I mean, I think we feel the same way you feel. I mean, we're not vocal about it all the time because we have to show that strong man all the time, but we have feelings also. I mean, we hurt also. But we have to take it and bury it sometimes. And intimacy for a man sometimes is that we have to hide it because women can use it against you. They will use it as a weapon sometimes. Oh, they're going to give it to you when they want to give it. They're happy. There's, that transactional type relationship. So I think men have to be careful with their feelings sometimes and they guard them more. But we do have them. We do have them. We're intimate. I know I am.
Well, I think everyone has the capability of being intimate because intimacy involves vulnerability. And and a lot of people, even a lot of females, that I come across, they do not have a vulnerable a bone in their body, some of them. So I think that's when we
Yeah.
call them masculine men or alpha women or whatever you want to call them. And it has nothing to do with them wanting to be a man. I just think trauma and all
Trauma.
types of things have brought them, has brought that personality trait out in them. But in order for a man, for me, I don't think that I could be intimate with more than one person. And I mean, we have different types of relationships, and we do share ourselves intimately different with everyone that we're with. I think because if I'm with my girlfriends, I have a vulnerable side where I may cry and tell them different things. That's a part of sharing, of being intimate with other people. Whereas if I'm with you know my man, is that's a whole different intimate moment that's happening, because if I'm with my girlfriends and I'm opening up, I'm able to embrace my softness with them, it depending on who I'm talking to. But
Now bring that woman into your relationship with your man, but they're not having sex. So when you and him are having these problems, you go to your friend. Well, what if she was there in the household? But they didn't have an intimate relationship, they just had a relationship. So I guess I could see a relationship like that, in which there's a man and most women say they want the provider. So he's there providing for both of you. He's not intimate with her, he's intimate with you, but you're there and she's there in those moments when you need her the most, and she's right there. She may even have a separate bedroom. Her job may just be to cook and clean in the house. I don't know. And your job is to be intimate and please him, but he's supporting the entire household. Is that relationship something that could happen? Possibly. It just depends on who you are. The right communication, the right people. It could probably work. Now, if you think about two men
I
and a
think
woman, I don't know. I couldn't do that.
I
I mean,
think
hey,
it's about, you could have communication and everything that you want to have in a room. People could be skillful at communicating. They can be skillful. They're skilled at being open with people. They're skilled with everything, the right things that it possessed to be in that type of relationship. We emotionally intact, but yet and still, one of these people in a relationship is not is people, I just feel like people just are naturally jealous sometimes. You get that a lot with females these days. That's something that's just been out, up and out. So for me to feel comfortable and feel like I'm safe in the environment, because first I have to feel safe with you in order to be intimate with you or vulnerable to you. I have to feel really, really safe with you. If I don't feel safe, then I'm gonna give you this much of Keisha. That's not a whole lot. When I could give you all of me and be 100%, because I don't know if it has something to do with well, that part has a lot to do with where you come from. I grew up in the hood. I had a lot of street experiences, so I don't trust very easily. So for me, trust is earned. I don't automatically give you all of me. Trust is
You
earned.
should be intimate and having sex with people you don't trust and feel safe with. That is just called, I don't want to use the F word. That's all it is. You're just going out there having sex. Having sex, okay. If you want to do that, that's on you. Go ahead on. But when it comes to relationships, you have to have that trust, that honesty, that communication. I'm not going to say multiple people can have it because it's not for everyone, but everything is based upon communication, honesty, and those type of things. Any relationship, any type, whether it's multiple people or just one.
Mm-hmm. Well,
I have never experienced it, but I can imagine that because I had a conversation with a friend of mine. We were at lunch and the waitress was sitting there and we were just talking about things. And I said, let me tell you something. It can happen because we were talking about it can't happen. And I said, see that waitress right there? She came up and she was talking about something. She said something about a boyfriend. I said, and he asked her, what do you think about that? I said, well, before you say anything, I said, look, if I owned my home, a nice big home, I was there and there was another woman there. And she was my sexual partner, but she didn't want to cook, clean, did anything. Would you live in the bedroom by yourself? We're not going to touch you doing it. Your job is to cook, clean, everything else. You can have a boyfriend, go everywhere you want, but this is a relationship with all of us. Would you stay there? She said, absolutely. She would be part of that relationship. But that's not an intimate relationship with her. That's just a relationship that we have, and her duties was this, and her responsibility wasn't me. This other woman would have been my responsibility, and I'm hers. But she would have just been benefiting, and we all benefit because she's cooking and cleaning the house because she was the bartender, she was the waitress, and she did this on a daily. But she can go to work and still do this at the house, bring herself up. She can relieve the relationship at any point. And that young lady said yes. And he was just shocked. I said, you just got to understand people are people. Sex is sex to some, intimacy is intimacy, but sex is not a relationship and a relationship is not sex. It's two different things.
well, only one woman can run a household. That's all I know. It's only one queen to a castle and one king to a castle. You have the queen, the king, and the princess and the prince. There's no queen number one and king number two.
Some people can have all the confidence in the world and don't even have to say it, but it's just no. So if you're confident enough, you're going to be the dominant one, but you don't have to dominate. You don't have to be forceful about it. You know, when you bring a woman into your bed, and it's just maybe you don't want to dominate a woman and force her. You want that love to come natural. You want her to bring it to you. You don't want to be forceful. Men that do that, they got a problem. I want you to love me just because. And when you bring that in, that's the intimacy you're looking for. And that's what you get out of a woman. Not this dominant beating, bringing her here, forcing her this, yelling. If you got to do all that, hey, it's not evenly yoked. That's not supposed to be.
No. But then again, some of these men don't even have boundaries. So they're very aggressive with women. Very, very aggressive. They have no boundaries whatsoever. So just like Cassie was saying last week, regardless to how many women were in a relationship, he still wind up going outside of that relationship, cheating on them. So he just had no boundaries, and he was getting all the benefits from this relationship. He was getting multiple benefits. He had two women in the household. He could, I don't know if they were sleeping in the same bed or what have you. We didn't even get to that part, but I can only imagine he did everything together. So Then he's going outside having these other relationships. So he's hooking up with other people. Who's to say that he's even having safe
Well, he
sex?
was just a cheater that just wanted to have an excuse to have multiple because he was going to cheat anyway. He was not in a relationship with any of them. He was not intimate with either one of them. He just wanted to be a cheater, and he felt, I'm going to get into this lifestyle to be a cheater. Hey, he's got the ultimate lifestyle then. But those women were taken advantage of because they were looking for a relationship. They were looking for intimacy, I would imagine, in another way. And that wasn't the right man for that type of relationship because respect is respect is respect. Cheating is disrespectful, not just because you're doing it. Most people around you know what's going on. And that's where the disrespect comes in. She may not know, but everybody else around knows. That's the disrespect.
But she does know. Women know when their man is cheating on them.
Men don't think the women know, so they out there. Oh, she out of town. She going out of town. Yeah, she going out of town with her girls. But guess what? They got men just like you out there going after them. And if she's weak, she cheat. You ain't gonna never know. So don't cheat. Trust your wife as much as you can. Respect her as much as you can. People are gonna do what they're gonna do, but you got to be honest and don't disrespect her, and she probably won't disrespect you because she knows you're not disrespecting her, so she won't do it. Now, if she's that type, she's just gonna do it anyway, and that's not who you're supposed to be with anyway. You might as well just let it go.
Exactly. You can't have a woman for the streets. So a real thing.
The answer. I don't know the answer to that. I really don't know.
So, but for these men, for me, that's crossing boundaries for me when you bring other people into your bedroom, because I have not ran across anyone in that type of relationship in the field that I'm in because I've met multiple different people in poly relationships or we're having threesomes, and it never turns out as a successful relationship. Now they may have some faking it till they make it because they're cheating on their partners or what have you. But for me, you just have to have a cheating spirit in you to have that type of relationship. You have to. I don't know. I don't know.
I'll give you an example. Let's say me and my wife are together for 15, 20 years, and me and her, every night we having sex. Every night we having sex. I'm a construction worker. I have an accident. Boop, it's gone. You think my wife's urge that day is going to disappear just because I can't? So as a man, I have to sit up to myself and say, am I going to divorce her and let her go because this is what she wants? Is she going to divorce me because this is what she wants? Or is there still a relationship there between us? Now, if we're going to be in a relationship, there is no more sex, right? Now, well, there's other ways to have, we know that, but that may not be enough for her. So at that point, me and her have to have a conversation. Now, a man and a woman, the man can say, okay, I'm going to go to the bunny ranch in Las Vegas somewhere and get me some every now and then. The woman can do the same, but what if it's more than that? Now you're going to have an understanding of how are we going to do this if that's a need you have to have.
Mm-hmm.
And then where do you go from there? Do you just get a divorce or do you keep the relationship?
So would you stay with your partner if she did that?
It would have to be a mutual conversation, and we both would have to agree, set boundaries, those type of things. And if I could not perform like that anymore, because as I say, a relationship is not sex and sex is not a relationship. So that's the way I feel. Now, a lot of people don't feel that way. Hey, that's the end all be all. You got to have it. Let's consummate the marriage. And if it ain't no good, we separate. I mean, I've never had a problem with it not being good. So I don't know how that goes. I don't understand how that would happen, but it happens, I guess. So you would have to be an adult about it and figure out how you're going to handle that. I mean, I guess there's people that's been in war and things like that happen. They lose it or whatever. What if a woman can't have sex anymore for whatever reason? What do you do as a man? The man's supposed to say, oh, you got to go. You're no good to me. Kick you out. That wouldn't be right.
Mm-hmm.
So how does he get satisfied?
No, it wouldn't.
So the relationship still must go on in a way if it's a real relationship.
So would you have that woman? So you would have that woman come into your home?
My wife would have to make that decision on how that would be. And the D out there, not all that to the board. I mean, I agree. It ain't all that. No divorce. So when I have the woman come in my house, my wife would have to say and set her boundaries and her rules. But I would imagine she would want the woman in the house because she would not want me out in the street if she cared enough about me. And she would want
Well,
to
you
check
don't
me.
have to. You no, you can't. She can't come in my house. Now you and her gonna have to go meet at
Yeah,
Motel
so you
Six
would
every
rather
now
me
and
go
then.
out the street, just find this thing out there and grab her and do whatever I got to do with her instead of you checking her out to make sure this is right for me.
You do know I'm part of a Kelly's and I'm a Hubbard. All of that.
I
I'm
know
cheeky.
you
I'm cheeky. No, that ain't happening. I'm cheeky. That's not happening. So the thing is, you can go. I will give my if I could if I say if I was in a way where I couldn't perform my wifely duties and he and he want other things other than the other ways you can satisfy people, then we would have that agreement. Like you can go do whatever you need to do as long as I don't know about it. Because if I find out about it, the only thing we got to sign a contract. You can't fall in love with her.
Okay, I mean that would be the boundaries you two set. Hey,
We
I don't
got
want
to
to.
set.
I don't want to see it. I don't want to have it. I don't want you to come home smelling like it. Take a shower there. Everything else. You better come home like nothing happened.
You can't have a relationship with nobody but me. And there's no relationship outside of this relationship. Now you can
And that.
go, y'all can have a partnership and an understanding, but there's no relationship. So you better make plenty little friends. We're gonna keep you with condoms and you
So
go do
you
what you
just
need to do.
agreed to a non-monogamous relationship, and you didn't even realize
Yes, a non-monogamous relationship, but the woman is not staying with us. That would be more like if you brought a woman into your home or a different female into your home. And say like if I was married and my husband couldn't do what he's supposed to do, and then you married and your wife and we hook up like that because y'all men always have a story about what the woman not doing for them. That's why they don't want them. But we never complain about what y'all don't have and why we don't want y'all. We don't put y'all business out there. But um then that would I don't know if that would be more like would we be swinging at that point because we swapping our partners or I see all of these different types of relationships that
again different types of relationships.
it is all different types of relationships. But I feel like if a woman husband is unable to satisfy her sexually, depending on their age, because at certain like a woman, women in different stages of their lives have different sexual needs, just like men at certain ages. So depending on that woman's age, because y'all older men like to go get these younger women, and then when you can't fulfill them anymore and then start cheating on y'all, then you want to cry about you being a good man. When you need to
Ain't no such thing. I don't believe in fulfilling them, or they got them pills them men be taking at 90 years old. They stay up for 90 days. It ain't as long as she can keep going on and whatever she got. I mean, I think they ended that a long time ago. So, you
well,
know,
according
and I
to
don't think
the
men
younger
just
women
like
I talk to, they don't like it. So
well,
they don't like it. They tolerate it because the older man is paying bills. They're giving them money and things like that. So in that case, wouldn't
that's
a
true.
wife just that's very transactional. But if he's married, don't you think that if he wanted somebody to play with and paid every now and then just to have a different scene from his household, then that seemed like that would be more of a like if I want to bring somebody in and have a poly relationship because I may not be into my husband anymore, but I'm here for the long haul. I'm taking care of him. I'm fulfilling all my wifely duties, but that. Then I may grant him to have somebody come in. To
Well, but what if he doesn't want anybody? Then, I don't know if I could ever do it. That's something I don't know if I could do. Because again, I say sex is not a relationship and opposite. So I don't know if I could. I would want my wife to be happy because, as they say, a happy wife, happy life. But we'd have to discuss a lot of things, set boundaries, communication, responsibilities. It can't be emotional attachments and something like that. That's just sex. Um,
Mhm.
so that would be a lot of communication and trust. Um,
That's a lot of communication and trust, but I just ask without the out if me I've always thought until I got older that all men were cheaters, right? It took me a long time and like being in church, and I've seen some brothers in church, and they really, I mean, but you do know if you think about it, it's just like you did it anyway. But I know some married men, you never hear about them having any infidelities out here with other women. They always, every time you see them, they with their wives. So it took me a long time to literally see black love and how it flourished and how you can grow with one partner. So it took me a long time um to see that type of love. So for me to to come to that realization, all men have different needs, all men mature at a different age, and I guess depending on, because men have trauma too. And for men to be from like go from woman to woman to woman, never by themselves. You're married, you're cheating on your wife, you're having a threesome, you got another woman living in a home with you still have multiple women out on the street. That's some trauma that that man is dealing with. That he has a need to have to be, what I want to say, he wants to be to seen. He has a need to be seen. He has he doesn't even have the capability of any type of connection of connecting with these people because he's not. I mean, you have multiple people. You're not connecting with these people like you said in an intimate way. It may be strictly like a visual thing we have with this person. Um, it may be financially for some
I think
people.
it's remember the Papa was a Rolling Stone. I mean, monkey see, monkey do. When you grow up with it, you see it all day. You see the friend of the family over there, and you know who the friend of the family is. That's who we cheating with. So some are brought and raised and made that way. I mean, and it's just
Mhm.
natural to them to cheat. But then they're gonna have some in their head that look at that like that's wrong. I'm not doing that because I can see the look on the wife's face. And I
Mhm.
don't want my wife to feel like that ever because it will come back on you. Karma is something. It will come back on you sooner or later. You think you're the king? They got one better than you. You will find one better than you. You will find a cheater better than you one day.
Hmm.
Guaranteed. So they got some
Yes.
bad women out there that
Oh,
talk
yes,
about,
they do.
hey, that's my boyfriend, or he leaving tomorrow. He's sleeping on the couch. You welcome. What the hell are you talking about? So they got some bad women out there. I will say I've ran across a few in my lifetime. Bad women that just don't care, worse than men. So
Hmm.
I think it doesn't matter whether it's a man or a woman, it's how you've been raised and what you've seen. And what they say, the best way to get over one man is get on another one. I've heard that one.
Yeah.
You hear that kind of stuff. So it's out there. That's what's bred and taught. Instead of, hey, when you break up with one, take your time, find out who you are, think about
Yeah.
respect, this and that before you jump into another. That's not taught.
Hmm.
You don't even hear that in songs.
You don't. In
So
the songs, it's like go around the circle. So it is, and it took me a long time to figure that out. But I've never gone from one relationship to the next. But I always find something to occupy my time to distract me from what's really happening. So it's important to sit in whatever you have going on. It's important to sit in that mess because you can't heal from it. You can't fix
correct.
anything if you don't if you unable to look at yourself in the mirror for more than 20 minutes, just staring at yourself without combing your hair, just looking yourself in the eye, then you know you have an issue. I know people that are never at home. They are never at home because they don't like being home. They'll sleep in their office or sleep by a friend's house before they go to their actually house. Like why is it that you can't find peace where you're supposed to be sleeping in your house is supposed to be the most peaceful place. This is my serenity right here. If anything happens, you come over here without me knowing you coming here or anything, you break that boundary with me. That's it. That's a wrap. You don't. I don't want to see you anymore because that's a red flag. Because this is my space of peace. This is where I'm vulnerable. So, and I don't want any unknown energies coming into that. So, but it's almost time for us to leave, y'all. We've been on here alone. We've been on here talking, and I know it's only been like 45 minutes for us. But I just want to say I need you guys to like and subscribe. Follow me on YouTube, KPR Productions LLC, and it's the same handle on IG, KPR Productions LLC. And then for those that are on my personal Facebook page, I stream live on there. So, like I said, don't forget to like and subscribe, especially on YouTube. And I really appreciate those who do tune in on Wednesdays to catch my podcast, and those that come on later and watch because I can see you watching. I see the numbers. So and then I had someone that inbox me last night and asked me what happened to my live podcast. So here I am. I'm on here. I need y'all to like and subscribe again, and follow me on YouTube, especially so we can make this money together and we can pour it back into these African American communities by investing in one another. So that's the main purpose. This year is 2026 is going to look a whole lot different. So sometimes the titles may change. I may have someone on here that we're going to still keep going. The show must go on unless I say that we're not doing it, and you always know when I'm on break. We're going to be doing a whole lot of live events this year. I have a couple of things that I'm going to introduce. Abril just said do pop the balloon so she could participate in pop the balloon. And yes, I am trying to figure out. I do want to do this.
Hey, do the 50 plus club. We need the 50 plus club.
And so I do want to do the speed dating thing again. So I'm trying to figure out how I want to present that. It may be in pop the balloon form because that seemed like it's a fun game that people play, and we'll see how that goes. I'm just gonna have to have some rules because we do live in New Orleans. We not on MTV, and it could go terribly wrong. Especially when y'all get alcohol in y'all. So we're gonna try different events, and I'll list the events, and yes, you will have to kind of, there will be an entry fee for each one of the events, and they're gonna be really nice. So I'll roll those out as they come about. I'll roll them out, give you the dates of promoting them, and then I'll look forward to y'all coming out to support those at events. So thank you, Mr. Larry Kelly, for joining me tonight. Cause see, if you don't come on, girl, I'm gonna talk about you so bad next week. I swear, cause you gonna be worse than Latasha, who faked me out
You gonna make me show up again?
Huh?
You gonna make me show up again?
Maybe. Not against your will, though. Not against your will. So
I don't generally talk about sex. That's
I got some juicy topics, but I gotta find some people that are experts, because I like people to speak from life experiences. So it's not just about me giving my I feel or believe, or the other person giving it we doing life experiences here. So if you experience it and we talking about it, we're gonna have a real conversation about it. So on that note, thank you guys and good night.
Good night, baby.
Good night.